Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're out here today. We're going to do a 3-month review on the XJ2025 Hydrostat LS Tractor. We're going to show y'all some of the things after 3 months that we've ran into with this tractor, so that if you go to purchase one, there's things to look for as to being weak points in this tractor. Now, it's a good tractor if you have a small farm or a small homestead and you're not really going to do much with it. It's not a bad tractor for that because it's only 4 feet wide. But I'm going to show you some things to look for that we have found ourselves with this particular tractor. Number one is the oil stick. I'm going to lift the hood up. If I can get a hold to it here. Okay, right down in here. I'm going to show you right here if we can get in where we can see it. We'll give it just a minute here. You see this oil stick right here. This is the oil stick. It constantly comes out of the tube, and we're constantly having to put it back in the tube, and it's because of this long steel rod up on it here, because it shakes around with the tractor running, and as it does, it works its way up out of the dipstick tube. So that's something you always have to be conscious of about dirt, grit, water getting down into the oil system because of this. Secondly, if you're not aware of it, this whole tractor, the framework, as far as the hood, the fenders, the floorboard, everything on this tractor is plastic. There is no metal on it anywhere except the frame, the motor, the rear ends, and the front end loader. All this stuff here is just plastic. Now, it's a hard ABS plastic, but it is a plastic. Next, if we can get around behind it here, I'm going to show you there's a hose. Next is this hose right here that I have my finger on. This hose is bad about getting right here against the tire. We've already, in less than 3 months, we've done blowed this hose out because sometimes the zip ties break and the hose rubs against the tire and you have no idea that it's even doing it. And it will rub into the hose, and because it's under such pressure, because it's a hydrostat system, it blows the hose on it. So this is a manufactured flaw in this particular hose here. We've told LS about it, and they're looking into maybe changing that design. But this is one of the things that you definitely want to watch for on a XJ2025 tractor, is this hose right here rubbing against the tire and blowing out. Okay, another flawed design. This shaft that goes through this right here, when you're lifting this lift system up and down, this shaft gets in a bind and it rotates. And as you can see, this pin right here gets against that bolt, and it literally has already broke the other ear off of it there. The other side of the tractor, we already have a nail put in it and have it curled over, because as this thing rotates around, when you're lifting it up and down, the pin comes around and it gets against this bolt here and it shears these pins off, and this shaft will work its way out and get against the tire over there. We've had that happen. So that's another flaw design on these tractors, something that you need to look for when you're using these particular tractors. It's something just to keep in mind. Next, guys, is this little reservoir you see right here that holds the engine coolant, because it has such a flimsy cap on it right here, and this engine vibrates so bad when it's idling. It's constantly shaking the antifreeze and coolant out of it on top of the battery down below it. It never holds any more than the low amount right there. We have put coolant in it, Doesn't matter what you do, it shakes and vibrates out, and it always stays on the low mark. It's virtually impossible because of the way the cap seals, and the vibration on this engine is just so great. Now I'm going to crank it up and I'm going to show you the vibration on this motor. Everything about this tractor vibrates so bad that at some point this system here is going to mess up. You know, the oil stick thing comes out. You can see here where it's done just about rubbed a hole completely in the bottom of this overflow thing here because of the vibration in it. These are flaw designs in this tractor that we hate to see someone purchase one and not know these things. That's why we're doing the review on this tractor. So So guys, overall, it's not a bad tractor if you're just a homeowner and you're on a little small piece of property, maybe an acre or so, and you want to do a few things around on it. It's not a bad tractor. It gets in tight places really good because it's a hydrostat. You can work with it real easy. But someone like us has got several acres of land and we're needing to pull a disc because it will not pull a disc. If you go to pull a disc with it and you drop it in the ground any more than like 2 inches, it just sits and spins. All 4 wheels on it does. Another issue is if you put it in 2-wheel drive and you try to pick up any dirt in the bucket, it won't go anywhere. The back wheels will just sit and spin. Or if you're just trying to climb up a little bit of an incline with no dirt in the bucket, the back wheels will just sit and spin. It won't even drive you forward. So, you know, there's a lot of issues with this little tractor that you need to take into consideration. We're fixing to trade it in on the next size above because we're going to go with the shuttle shift instead of the hydrostat. Because when you're sitting on the seat, there's a fan underneath the seat of this tractor. Okay, guys, you see this fan right here that I'm looking at, this plastic fan? If you happen to be backing up with this tractor or going forward and a little stick comes up in there and hits that fan, it will shear the blades right off of it. And it, you know, then you have no way for the air to cool your hydrostat system here on that tractor. So this is another design issue that we don't like. It should have had a cage of some kind around it so that it protected it from things happening to it. And when you're sitting on this seat right here, because the fan is right here, it blows tremendous amounts of heat up right here on each side of this seat. And if it happens to be summertime and it's like 100 degrees outside, this is like sitting in front of a fan and in front of an oven. You just literally burn up because it's a hydrostat system and the fan is blowing the heat off of all the rear end and everything up here on you. And that is another issue. One reason we're getting rid of it is it's just too hot to operate in the summertime. So guys, you know, once again, it's not a bad tractor. It's just got some issues that we're not comfortable with. Now here at Deep South Homestead, this tractor, we use it so much that we've got to actually go with a different style tractor, something that doesn't put the heat on us, something that will hook up to our equipment. This one will not hook up to 5-foot equipment. We had a 5-foot bush hog. We managed to get it on it. We have a 5-foot disc. We managed to get it on it. We had to do a lot of rigging around to get it to eventually hook up. And then once we got it hooked up, now it would pull the bush hog, but it stalled the tractor down real bad if he was in any kind of grass at all. The disc wouldn't even pull it. I mean, it just sit and spin. So these are things that you need to know. That's why we're doing this review. Is not to talk bad about LS, but to let the people know that there are issues with these tractors. If you go to purchase them, you need to know what they will do and what they will not do. We need to know, I wish somebody had done this to me. Let me put it that way. If somebody had said these things to me, I would have never bought the tractor. But since we've learned it the hard way, we don't want y'all to have to go through what we've been through with this particular tractor. If you just want something to put a finish mower on it, it has a mid-range PTO that goes up under it. You can put a belly mower or you can put a 4-foot bush hog. It works good with that. We're going to stay with the LS tractor. We're just going to up it. We're going to have the same exact 25 horsepower engine because we love the Mitsubishi engine. We're just going to go with the 3025, which is the same motor, same horsepower. It's a larger frame, heavier duty tractor, geared a lot different. We're going to do the shuttle shift, which gives us 12 gears forward, 12 gears backwards. We have high range, low range, and mid range. So we have a lot of different transmission options. One of the issues with the hydrostat, you'll learn, it burns a lot of diesel fuel because you have to keep the engine revved up in order for the hydrostats to work properly. We're going with a shuttle shift so we can idle it down some. We won't burn as much fuel. It's more of an economy thing for us also. There's some fuel gauge issues. Let me mention that. We're having some fuel gauge issues with it. They're going to be fixing that. But other than that, you know, we're just going to switch out and go with the 3025 shuttle shift because we feel like at our homestead it's a better deal for us. Now, this one may be fine for you at your homestead, but I did want to point out some of the issues with the tractor so that if you purchase it, you won't be caught in the dark like we were. So I hope the review is beneficial for someone out there who's actually looking at purchasing one of these tractors, and thank you from Deep South Homestead.